Hello and welcome. This is Twitter Tutorial 2, setting up your profile. This tutorial assumes that you've completed Tutorial 1 and set up an account at Twitter. Um, and this tutorial also assumes that you've checked your email as requested by Twitter. Twitter sends automatically an email to your account to verify that is indeed your email address, and you really need to click on that link in that email in order to open up all the account options and settings that we're going to talk about here in this tutorial. So make sure that you've done those two things, set up your account and validated your email. Okay, let's get started by going into Twitter. Back to your Twitter page. This or something like this is what should now appear on your Twitter homepage when you go to log in or right after you've set up your account. This is a basic Twitter page. It's got a black bar, as it always will, across the top, and in that black bar is the Twitter logo on the upper left. A little search window for searching Twitter. We'll talk about that later on. A few other important sections that we're not going to cover in this tutorial. These are in Tutorial 3. What we are going to cover here is about setting up your profile. And in order to do that, you navigate the mouse up here to your upper right of your black bar. You'll see your Twitter username up here. And if you click on this little arrow, it should open up three options. One of those options is signing out of your account. If you're on a public computer, this is always a good idea, of course, when you're done. The help part of the site, which you may refer to after you do these tutorials if you can't find all the information you need in here. And then settings, and this is where we want to go. This is where we're going to make personal tweaks rather, to our profile, depending on what we're doing and depending on what class we're using this for, or depending on personal preferences as well. So in here, this opens up 6 different windows: account, password, mobile, notifications, profile, and design. I should say right off the bat, the default settings that Twitter gives you when you open up your account are just fine. There's no reason you need to go further. This tutorial is really for people that want to make small tweaks to the way their account works. There are one or two things that might be important to you. I'll try and highlight those as I go along. The rest are all optional. So let's just start with this account window. You can see here right away I can change my username. I can hide my email address from others. These are all really about privacy settings. Twitter allows me to add a location to my tweets. If I'm tweeting from home or work or from another country, it will add that to it. If I leave that blank, it's just fine. It does not add that information. So that's what that's for. Password's pretty self-explanatory. Click on that. I can change my password or update it as needed. Mobile. I can link Twitter with my mobile phone. If I am a really active Twitter, I can either send or receive tweets through my mobile phone, and entering my country, region, phone number allows me to do that there. That's optional for our course purposes. Notifications might be something you want to take a look at. Notifications, as always, is about how Twitter notifies you by email when something happens that pertains to you on the site. Someone sends you a message, someone sends a tweet that mentions you, even when Twitter just wants to send you updates about new products and things like that. If you're like me and don't need or want to get those emails, just go through and uncheck all these boxes, and Twitter shouldn't bother you by email at all. Make sure that you hit the save button at the bottom. You always have to do that to make your settings permanent, and then Twitter gives you a notification up top when your settings have been saved. So that wraps that up. Let's go go on to profile. This is your profile page. You can add an image to your profile page so people know you by your image as well as by your username. It'll appear up here in your window when you upload that. You can enter your location if that's something you want to divulge. You can also add a bio in here if that's something you want to add. If you're interested in just having kind of a standard bio, I'm using this account for my English class is fine. Nothing fancy, and then of course save it. And then the last column here, the last page, is design, and this is where you can select a background to kind of personalize your Twitter site, your Twitter profile page. And again, that's totally optional for you as a student user. So okay, that pretty much concludes our tutorial about how to set up your profile. Pretty easy, and I hope it worked for you.